Hi guys, Olive here. Here today in an entirely different location, doing an entirely different type of video than I normally do, which is kind of exciting. This is the start of a vlog. Let's see if I can actually commit to doing a vlog. I only remember ever doing one other vlog previously. It was when my husband and I went to Mexico on vacation. Remember traveling? Anyway, I did a vlog on that trip of all the books that I read during that trip. I think I ended up reading 3. And I had a really good time doing it. I felt completely awkward doing it because I'm not used to doing it. I've never really found my day-to-day life all that interesting, so I've never really felt the compulsion to vlog it, especially now that I'm home 99.9% of the time. I can't even show you any goings on around Pittsburgh. It definitely makes me feel some regrets about not vlogging before all of this started, because I would go out and about around Pittsburgh and go to bookstores and book sales. And now I really wish I would have vlogged some of that. Oh well. But anyway, I have a special occasion that warrants me vlogging right now. I'm super excited about it because Jill from the Book Bully, the lovely Jill from the Book Bully, we started talking about doing a book exchange toward the end of last year. I think it was right after Nonfiction November. It was originally Jill's idea, and her idea was that we would pick books out for each other. We landed on the number 3 because that's neat and tidy. She wanted us to see if we really know each other's taste in books. Now, I've been watching Jill's channel since Nonfiction November 2019. That's when I discovered her channel. And I'm assuming she's been watching my channel for a longer period of time just because I've been doing this for what feels like forever. So she had some books in mind for me already when she proposed this idea. And so then it was up to me to sit down and figure out what books I thought she would like, which is always super fun. I love picking out books for people. I love buying gifts for people. It's probably my favorite thing to do. It's the reason why I do the Reddit Gifts book exchange every single year. Here's the box. I've already removed the outside shell of it for privacy reasons. It looks like she put it in a shoebox, which love repurposing. I do that all the time. I'm gonna break into this. She also got my box today. It was like the most fortuitous timing ever. Packing material in here. She sent me a message on Instagram saying that she got my box, and then like as soon as I put my phone down to go check our mail, which always comes at that time of day, it was sitting out there. It was like the most synchronous thing I've ever experienced in my life. Okay. Oh, there's a card. We totally have the same idea. I got her a cat card too. Oh, there's a matryoshka on the back. We also decided to send each other some goodies. I'm sure you'll see it in Jill's video, which if it's up by the time I post this, I'll link that below. Oh my God, are you kidding me? Maple cream cookies. Jill lives in Canada, if you don't know this, so we wanted to make our extra goodies region specific, so I sent her a bunch of Pittsburgh stuff. Oh my God. Okay, well, I'm having some of these with my tea because that's too perfect. Newfoundland Chocolate Company with blueberries. Oh my gosh, look how cute. Now I wish I would have gone to the chocolate shop in Squirrel Hill. I forget what it's called right now. No, I don't. The Chocolate Mousse. It's called the Chocolate Mousse. I wish. Is this a mug? Jill. Why did she send me a mug? This is too much. I'm spoiled enough already. Does this have birds on? This has birds on it. Oh my God! Birds of Canada. I love it too much I can't take it. I don't even have words. This is huge too. Oh my God, what birds are on this? Oh my God, there's so many birds on this. Look at this. Look at that. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God, I'm gonna use this every day. Oh, it's perfect. Oh, I love when a mug is like perfect for hand warming. Now it's time for the books. The books. Okay. Nice. Okay, so she has little notes written on the front of them, kind of like a blind date with a book. I haven't gotten a blind date with a book in a really long time. Okay, so this one says, a story set in Soviet Russia by one of my favorite authors. I wonder if I've heard of it. I've probably heard of it. Looks like maybe a penguin book? No, vintage. I have heard of this one. The Noise of Time by Julian Barnes. I have heard of this one because, yeah, it's about Shostakovich. 1936, Dmitri Shostakovich, just 30 years old, reckons with the first of 3 conversations with power that will irrevocably shape his life. Stalin, hitherto a distant figure, has suddenly denounced the young composer's latest opera. Certainly he will be exiled to Siberia, or more likely shot dead on the spot. Shostakovich reflects on his predicament, his personal history, his parents, his daughter, all of those hanging in the balance of his fate. And though a stroke of luck prevents him from becoming yet another casualty of the Great Terror, he will twice more be swept up by the forces of despotism, coerced into praising the Soviet state at a cultural conference in New York in 1948, and finally bullied into joining the party in 1960. All the while, he is compelled to constantly weigh the specter of power against the integrity of his music. An extraordinary portrait of a relentlessly fascinating man, The Noise of Time is a stunning meditation on the meaning of art and its place in society. I definitely have heard of this one before. I've never seen this cover. Isn't that gorgeous? I have really been into books about music lately, so this is actually perfect timing. I'm actually trying to make these first 3 months of the year very music dominant. I just finished The Lost Pianos of Siberia, which I think this would actually be a good follow-up. So I'm not sure what the other 2 books are, but I may read this one first. Ooh, I have the perfect shirt to wear with this one too. Okay, the next one. A memoir in photographs. And she drew a camera and then wrote, "This is supposed to be a camera." This is why I didn't draw on any of your packages, Jill. I'm maybe the worst artist alive. I've seen this cover. This is Good Talk by Mira Jacob. Little hard to read that writing. Yes, Good Talk by Mira Jacob. I have absolutely seen this cover. Do you ever have those books that you recognize them? They almost just become images in your head, but you have absolutely no idea what they're about, but you've seen them everywhere. This is one of those books for me. That's really interesting. I've never seen anything like this. I am not that familiar with graphic memoirs. I get requests sometimes, people asking me if I know of any good graphic memoirs except for the ones that everyone seems to know about. And I honestly don't. And I don't know why I've never gotten into graphic memoir before, because I love memoirs, obviously. Some of my very, very favorite books are memoirs. But graphic memoir, I've just never really tried to get into. This is really cool. I really, really like this art style. I've played some video games. I think the one was called Hotel Dusk. The art style, the way the people are drawn kind of reminds me of that. Well, this one looks absolutely amazing. That is probably going to be right on the money as well. So yeah, 2 out of 2 I think I'm really going to like. Okay, and this last one. A nonfiction by a Canadian Indigenous author. So it's coming undone at the top already. Already doing the job for me. See, it's upside down. Gotta flip it up. I love this cover already. Okay, A Mind Spread Out on the Ground by Alicia Elliott. In an urgent and visceral work that asks essential questions about the treatment of Native people in North America while drawing on intimate details of her own life and experience with intergenerational trauma, Alicia Elliott offers indispensable insight into the ongoing legacy of colonialism. She engages with such wide-ranging topics as race, parenthood, love, mental illness, poverty, sexual assault, gentrification, writing, and representation, and in the process makes connections both large and small between the past and present, the personal and political, from overcoming a years-long battle with head lice to the way Native writers are treated within the Canadian literary industry, her unplanned teenage pregnancy to the history of dark matter and how it relates to racism in the court system, her childhood diet of craft dinner to how systemic oppression is directly linked to health problems in Native communities. With deep consideration and searing prose, Elliott provides a candid look at our past, an illuminating portrait of our present, and a powerful tool for a better future. This sounds Amazing. If I had to guess, I'm thinking this is the book that Jill was originally thinking about when she proposed doing this book exchange, because around Nonfiction November this past year in 2020, I read Secondhand Time by Svetlana Alexievich, which she has also read. And we started having a conversation about intergenerational trauma. And I'm assuming that brought this book to mind for her. This is absolutely something I am looking forward to reading. I don't know nearly enough about Indigenous populations in Canada. And by that I mean I know next to nothing. So very much looking forward to reading this. All three of these, I am pretty positive I'm going to love. Jill, you were right on the money. As much as I would like to start one of these, all of these right now, I do have some work that I unfortunately still need to do today. So I am going to clean this up. And the next time you see me, I will either be in the process of reading one of these books or I will have finished one of these books. We'll see if I can figure out how to vlog. All right, I'll see you later. Hi there, welcome to February. I would say happy February, but I would be being dishonest if I said that because February is not all that happy here in Pittsburgh. It is a very dreary month. It happens to be my least favorite month of the entire year. Not to start off this segment on such a bummer kind of note, but we get so much snow in the month of February. It's absolutely disgusting outside right now. So for lighting purposes, privacy purposes, and because there's absolutely nothing to see outside, I'm not going to open this window. We're in my reading room right now, having some tea in this gorgeous bird mug that Jill got me. I was in fact correct that this was going to hold a ton of liquid, which is my favorite type of mug for going into long reading sessions, which I hope this will be. Maybe not too long, but long enough for it to be satisfying. Okay, so the candle's lit. I have my tea, I have my snack. I should probably show you the book that I'm going to be reading in this session. I'm going to be reading The Noise of Time by Julian Barnes, which is why I wore this shirt. I told you I have a perfect shirt for this book. I'm really looking forward to this. I don't think it's going to take me very long to read. I mean, you can see the margins are really big. And I find that fiction reads faster than nonfiction anyway, and that's pretty much all I've been reading since the start of this year. I've been reading so much nonfiction. I'm already scared that I'm not reading enough fiction to make up a year-end fiction favorites list. I should probably start being concerned about that earlier on in the year so I don't have the third year in a row of end-of-year fiction panic. I just noticed how crazy this hair looks. Oh my God. It has been almost a year of this pandemic and I am officially out of things to do with my hair. I've given myself two different quarantine haircuts now, maybe even 3. I don't know. Time means nothing anymore. And I feel like I'm starting to see the effects of not doing the greatest job cutting my own hair. Anyway, just ignore it, I guess. I'm going to try to. I'm going to start this book and we'll see how it goes. All right, about 2.5 hours later, I have finished the first book that Jill kindly picked out for me, The Noise of Time by Julian Barnes. This is all about the Russian/Soviet composer Dmitri Shostakovich and his complex and ongoing relationship with the Soviet system throughout his life. I would say this book is more about that relationship, his brushes with power, as he calls it, and the different faces that it wears throughout his life. It's about that relationship more than it is about anything else, even though there are other details of his life that show up in here. We meet his different wives, some of them more than others because he was married to some of them longer than others. And there are a few mentions of his children, but that's honestly one of my very few complaints about this book, is that I wish there would have been a little bit more about his children in this book. But His issues with power begin in 1936 when an opera that he's written is being performed and members of the party elite attend. Stalin is in attendance and they don't like it. They really don't like it. So when it had been perfectly well received before these party members decide that they don't like it, after their attendance, everyone starts denouncing it. It's after this point that Dmitri Shostakovich thinks he's pretty much done for. He spends every single night ready and waiting for the secret police to come get him, but that doesn't happen. There's another time where he thinks he's done for, his second brush with power, where he's brought in for questioning because some people close to him are being accused of having a plot to assassinate Stalin. But then there's a turn of events that keeps him safe again. And then in his final brush with power, he is coerced into joining the party, which he had resisted for a very, very long time in his life. And he jokes, it's a very morbid sense of humor, which it's very Russian in that way. He jokes that they come for him every 12 years, every leap year. They come for him. He has another one of these brushes with power. And so toward the end of the book, when he's getting older and he feels completely dead inside, he jokes that he wants to die before the next leap year comes around. And in fact, he does end up dying before the next leap year comes. Of course, this is a fictionalized account of Shostakovich's life, but I thought it was really, really good. This book really reminded me of the saying, you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Because living in the Soviet system for as long as Dmitri Shostakovich did, creating art in the Soviet system for as long as he did, he really had to at least pretend that he was on board with everything the Soviet Union stood for. He had to, even in his travels abroad, he went to America at one point in this book, he had to say that he believed in all those things even when he didn't. He really feels by the end of this book, by the end of his life, that he's a complete coward, that he stands for nothing because he's had to go along with this for so long to look out for his safety and his family's safety, but also to be able to do what he loves, to be able to create music. He's had to water down his music in a lot of ways so that it appeals to the people. That's a very big thing with art in the Soviet Union. It had to belong to the people. And that's a big conversation in this book as well. Who does music belong to? This is one of those books that I feel like I need to think about it a little bit more before I give final feelings, because there was a lot going on in here. I don't feel that all of it was necessary. I do feel like he rambled a little bit, but I liked a lot of it. I ended up dog-earing some sections, which if that horrifies you, I'm very sorry, but I have been reading on my e-reader so much that the ability to highlight has become indispensable at this point. I like to be able to hold on to those things that I think are really key in understanding the book, or the things that really stood out to me. And so I dog-eared. I don't have my tabs up here in the reading room. I've been doing a lot of my reading down in my sunroom, which I think is the next place I'll read in this reading vlog. But yeah, I think I need to think about this one a little bit more. That's the nice thing about the reviews I do, either written reviews or video reviews. I have some more time that I can think about the books and really think about everything that they were saying before I give my final feelings. So as much as I like certain aspects of this vlogging experience so far, this real first experience at a reading vlog, I don't know if these off-the-cuff reactions are going to end up being to my liking. I think they'll be interesting in some ways looking back at this later on, but I like some time to sit with a book and think about it, and I think I need to do that with this one. But overall, I did really enjoy it. Seems like we might get maybe an hour's worth of sunshine here at the end of the day. That's been happening so much. It is nice, but confusing because it's gray for most of the day. Then it becomes mostly cloudy and the sun peeks through a little bit, as I could feel it doing while I was reading in here. And then right before sunset, we get about an hour worth of sunshine. Pittsburgh just wants us all to know what we are missing. I think I'm gonna go take advantage of that very brief window of sunshine, maybe hang out with my cat a little bit since she did not want to come in here and hang out with me for whatever reason. And I need to figure out what we're doing for dinner. I think I have stuff to make risotto, which I do make for us a lot, but it never stops being delicious. But that takes a little bit of time, so I should probably get that started. In terms of the way the rest of this vlog is going to go, I am loosely planning on doing one of these every weekend. I think I've already decided which book I want to read next weekend because I'm a planner and that's what I do. But I think I want to read Good Talk, the graphic memoir. It has been such a long time since I've read a graphic memoir. I'm pretty sure the last one I read was Lucy Knisley's latest one. I'm really excited about Good Talk. I'm going to try to hold off on picking it up until next weekend because I know I can finish it in one sitting, and I think that's something that's going to be best read all in one sitting. But okay, dinner awaits. I'll talk to you next weekend. Hello there. It's a few days later. I am once again here at our dining room table, or as I like to call it, my workstation. I have already messed up the way I wanted to do this vlog. You can tell how inexperienced I am at making vlogs because I've already gone off track. What I wanted to do was what I did for the last book. I wanted to set up my camera, have it film me while I read, as I've seen other people do. I'm just trying to be a follower here. And I wanted to give my thoughts on the book immediately after. Well, I couldn't help but start Good Talk by Mira Jacob last night. I was flicking through it. I'm like, I just want to read it. I need to read it. I knew I needed to read it for this video. So I just started reading it. And then I finished it up over lunch, and I need to quickly film some reactions to it before I have to go about my business. But this was really, really good. I don't know why I haven't gotten more into graphic memoir before. I think I've had this obviously not correct notion in my head that they're not going to be for me, even though I love memoir, that's obvious. I'm going to apologize in advance for my cat. She likes to harass me all day long. And the toy we got her, it's this automated toy that has like this little teaser feather on it. It ran out of batteries. And so she likes to sit by it and cry because otherwise she wants us to provide her with attention. I don't know if anybody else has had this problem. Have your cats gotten more demanding since quarantine started? Because this cat thinks I live to serve her. So every single buddy read I do where I give messages over Voxer, I have to apologize to them like right off the bat, especially if they've never done a buddy read with me before, because this cat will not stop screaming at me. Thea, now the cat's running laps. Thea. Anyway, let's try this again. This author is of Indian descent. Her parents were immigrants. They moved here to the United States, and she was raised in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And this is pretty much her life story, pieces of her life story, I should say. And mainly the conversations that happen in this book revolve around race in some way, race in America specifically. You see a lot of different conversations. It is a memoir in conversations. There are a lot of uncomfortable conversations that people that she knows, people that she didn't know all that well, they try to have these conversations with her about her skin color. And then she herself is faced with difficult conversations with her son. She's in an interracial marriage with a Jewish man, and they have a son together. And he developed a fascination with Michael Jackson and wanted to ask her a whole bunch of different questions about Michael Jackson's race. The 2016 election is, of course, discussed in here, feelings following the 2016 election. And there's also a really heartbreaking conflict between this author and her husband and his parents, so her in-laws. I've got to finish this up so I can go play with the cat, and then hopefully she'll sleep for a little while. But anyway, what I want to say about this book is that I thought it was extremely effective. I think turning these issues about race, turning them from something that we know is going on, talking about them kind of in concept, and turning them into conversations between people where you can see how these issues are directly affecting someone's day-to-day life. I think it really makes it crystal clear that these are still really big issues. I know a lot of people here in the States want to feel like we've moved on past a lot of these things, but they're still there. And I think acknowledging them is the first step. And this is a really good way of doing it, in my opinion. Jill obviously knows my taste pretty well because this is the second out of 3 books that I really enjoyed and I'm giving 4 stars. And I'm really glad it was in my book package, honestly, because I don't know when I would have picked up this book. Again, I had that idea in my head that graphic novels and graphic memoirs are not for me, which I'm glad this shattered that illusion. But also, because it is a cover that I recognize and I know it came out a little while ago, I don't know that this would have been a priority for me. All the big covers of the big books, they kind of all blend together for me over time, and I don't come back to them until much later, especially now as I'm focused on new releases since I've been freelancing. And honestly, I've been reading more obscure nonfiction lately as opposed to books that were big in the past and trying to catch up on those. I used to try to do that. I don't so much anymore, but I'm really, really glad this was in my book package so I could prioritize it. Now the cat's eating. Her food bowl is in this room. Her noise never ends. Anyway, I am hoping to read the next book here soon, but the issue that I know I'm going to be dealing with over the next couple weeks is that I am starting to not sleep well. I won't talk about it too much because I know people's sleep issues are really not the most exciting thing to hear about, but I go through periods where I don't sleep very much. It's very, very frustrating. I wish I knew what was causing it. It's not an issue falling asleep, it's an issue maintaining sleep, and it normally has to do with me getting nightmares. A nightmare will wake me up at like 2 or 3 a.m. and then I cannot fall back asleep. So that is starting to happen. It normally follows periods of stress. I don't have a ton of stress in my life right now. I mean, there's always kind of a baseline level of stress, but I'm starting to get the nightmares and I'm starting to wake up earlier and earlier. And unfortunately, I know these to be patterns in my life and it normally lasts a few weeks. So I know that if I'm going to be sleeping poorly here over the next couple of weeks, that I'm going to have to prioritize like the really, really major things, and anything that's not super major, it's probably going to have to get pushed to the side. I've tried to figure out how to get through these periods as best as I can, and that's kind of what I've landed on. So it may happen that I can get to the 3rd book here very shortly, and it may not. I'm thinking things are leaning that way, but regardless, it will get read, and then I will share my thoughts with you. But yeah, I'm gonna take care of this cat now, and then get all the stuff done that I need to get done today. So I will see you hopefully on the other side of these sleep problems. Bye. Hi there, I just got done yelling at my cat. She is trying her hardest to get my attention right now. She's been screaming at the top of her lungs because she wants to be fed, even though it is several hours ahead of dinner time. I don't want to lock her out of this area. This is my sunroom, my little bird corner, and this is my reading chair, my other reading chair. I am lucky enough to have 2 reading chairs. But Thea, that's my cat, Thea and I, we spend a lot of time together snuggling in this room, so I don't want her to feel that she's not allowed in here. This cat runs this house. You would think that I would be the diva of this house. No. That's the cat. But I do have some happy news to share before I talk about the final book. I am sleeping again. I'm very, very happy about that. I started sleeping better last week, and then this week it more or less went back to normal. I mean, I still wake up before the sun comes up, but it's not 2 a.m., which for me is progress. I'm actually very much looking forward to daylight savings time starting in the spring when we move forward an hour. I know it's not the typical one that people look forward to. I know a lot of people prefer the one in the fall because it means you get an extra hour in bed. But for me, it has never meant getting an extra hour in bed because I wake up so early. So the one in the spring actually moves my wake up time closer to a normal wake up time. Cat is trying to get into the closet. But anyway, as I'm sure many of you have experienced, when you're not sleeping well, the whole world is just sideways. Just nothing is right. So I really did have to push a lot of things that I wanted to do, that I needed to do, to the side for a period of time while I tried to get myself back on track, while I tried to handle the nightmares and try to get back to sleep when I would be waking up super early in the morning, but things are much better now. The dark circles under my eyes don't need so much attention with makeup. Things are much better. I'm really glad that those issues are under control so that I can sit down and film this last part of the vlog. This has been something that I've been wanting to return to over the past couple of weeks, but every single time I would try to pick up A Mind Spread Out on the Grounds by Alicia Elliott, I realized I was just way too exhausted to give this book the attention that I really wanted to give it. I was giving all the energy I had to the right now things. The right now things are the things that take priority in one of those periods. But this definitely deserved my attention because, wow, this was really, really powerful. This is actually an essay collection. I wasn't aware that this was an essay collection when I picked it up. The author is half white and half Indigenous. Her father is Indigenous. They lived on a reserve when she was growing up. Her father had some problems with alcohol. He also displayed some abusive behavior during her upbringing, but also at other times could be really supportive and loving. And then her mother suffered from bipolar disorder and would have periods of time where she would just disappear and then would eventually come back, and the family really didn't talk about it all that much. This is more or less a memoir in essays, but while they are telling her personal stories, they touch on bigger issues, like the way Indigenous peoples have been treated by the Canadian government throughout Canadian history. Thea's gonna come up here. Hi, Thea. Anyway, as Thea makes her way through here, like I said before, this is a very powerful book. I really liked her writing. It was beautiful, but not in a sing-songy, I'm trying to make this beautiful kind of way, but instead she was just kind of trying to get straight to the point. But I think she did it in a really elegant way. This book is going to be hard for me to talk about in any more detail than I am right now because there are certain parts of this book that I connected to in ways that I've never connected to a book before, to be completely honest with you. I can't really say what I mean by that without being more personal than I feel comfortable being on camera. But this author and I, we have some things in common when it comes to our backgrounds. Overall, I did really enjoy this book. I would say that it's another winner. I did really enjoy the reading experience. I loved hearing her perspective. I thought it was eye-opening in so many different ways. This is definitely one I'm going to revisit. So now at the end of this video, I'm very happy to say that I have now read all 3 of the books that Jill was kind enough to send to me. I first read A Noise of Time by Julian Barnes, which I am growing more fond of as time goes on, which is super fun. I love when that happens. I read Good Talk by Mira Jacob, which proved to me once and for all that I like graphic memoir and I should read more of it. And then I read A Mind Spread Out on the Ground by Alicia Elliott, a very powerful one that I absolutely have to reread, hopefully sometime soon. I have to send a huge thank you to Jill from the Book Bully for first suggesting that we do this exchange, and then for sending me 3 incredible books plus all of the goodies. It was so amazing. It was something that really brightened an otherwise very dreary February. I also have to say thank you to all of you for watching up until this point in the video and putting up with my very amateur attempts at a vlog. There's a reason why I do my typical type of video and not vlogs. I'm not all that good at it, but this was really fun, something different, something to push me out of my comfort zone, and I hope you enjoyed it. Any comments or questions you may have can go in the comment section below. If you would like to keep up with what I'm reading, you can find me on social media. The links to all of my profiles will be in the description box below, and in the description box below there will be a link to Jill's video if you would like to see what books I got her. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.